Pain was there, but it was not too much. The boys, the disciples were chanting, and I was chanting, so there was not so much. It was not so much painful. That is already explained. When there is distress, the devotee takes it that I am suffering for my past deeds, but I should not have died at this moment. But Krishna is simply giving me a little pain, that's all. Actually, that was the thing. That day I should have the heart attack was very severe. I should have died. Nobody survives such heart attack. But Krishna saved me, that's all. Veerabhadra. And my fourth and last question is, are you in this world? Prabhupada. Are you in this world? I am. I am not in this world? Yes. You are not in this world? No. Jai Gopal. I heard it is said that you are in this world without being a part of it. You are in the world being part of it, being a part of it like the lotus flower which floats on the water. Prabhupada. Yes, that is a way. That is a way of understanding. Just like as in America, it is very easy to understand. I am not adopting any ways of life as Americans do. So I am not in America. Not only myself, all my disciples who are following me, they are also not Americans. They are different from American behavior, American ways of life. In that sense, I am not in America. I am in Vrindavan because wherever I go, in my apartment or in my temple, I live with Krishna and Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Text number 2. Shrotavyadini Rajendra. Shrotavyadini Rajendra. Dranam Shanti Sahasrasaha. Dranam Santi Sahasrasaha. Apashyatam Atmatattvam. Apashyatam Atmatattvam. Griheshu Grihamedhinam. Griheshu Grihamedhinam. Shrotavyadini Rajendra. Drinam Santi Sahasrasaha. Apashyatam Atmatattvam. Griheshu Grihamedhinam. Shrotavya Adini. Subject matters for hearing. Rajendra, O Emperor, Nranam of the human society. Santi, there are. Sahasrasaha, hundreds and thousands. Apashyatam, of the blind. Atmatattvam, knowledge of self. The ultimate truth. Griheshu, at home. grihamedhinam, of persons too materially engrossed. Translation: those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor. Kindly repeat the translation. Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport: in the revealed scriptures, there are two nomenclatures for the householder's life. One is Grihastha and the other is Grihamedhi. The Grihasthas are those who live together with wife and children, but live transcendentally for realizing the ultimate truth. The Grihamedhis, however, are those who live only for the benefit of the family members, extended or centralized, and thus are envious of others. The word Medhi indicates jealousy of others. The Grihamedhis, being interested in family affairs only, are certainly envious of others. Therefore, one Grihamedhi is not in good terms with other Grihamedhi. And in the extended form, one community, society, or nation is not on good terms with another counterpart of selfish interests. In this age of Kali, all the householders are jealous of one another because they are blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth. They have many subject matters for hearing: political, scientific, social, economic, and so on. But due to a poor fund of knowledge, they set aside the questions of the ultimate miseries of life, namely miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Factually, the human life is meant for making the ultimate solution of birth, death, old age, and disease. But the Grihamedhis, being illusioned by the material nature, forget everything about self-realization. The ultimate solution to the problem of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. And thus, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, the miseries of the material existence, birth, death, old age, and disease, are removed. The process of going back home, back to Godhead, is to hear about the Supreme Lord and His name, form, attributes, pastimes, paraphernalia, and variegatedness. Foolish people do not know this. They want to hear something about the name, form, etc. of everything which is temporary, and they do not know how to utilize the propensity of hearing for the ultimate good. Misguided as they are, they also create some false literatures about the name, form, attributes, etc. of the ultimate truth. One should not therefore become a Grihamedhi simply to exist for envying others. One should become a real householder in terms of the spiritual injunctions. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is a very important verse from the second canto of the Bhagavatam. So this verse takes me to my olden days where we used to be still in a very young age, used to go to the schools, right? I'm just talking about 1990s, ways back. So at that time, we didn't had televisions, we didn't had the social media, all these things, right? All those days we had only some radio stations or some newspapers and all that. So I remember in the newspapers there used to be one advertisement used to come about the television. All of you remember that advertisement about the television There was one bald head man used to be there, and there used to be two horns on top of the head. Right? There was a Vanida TV, right? And you remember what was the tagline for that Vanida TV? Owner's pride and neighbor's envy. See, those days itself, they caught hold of this enviousness. What happens in the home, they know very well. How to create the competition one among other. And that's what exactly it is said in this verse. Griha medhi. Medhi means enviousness. This enviousness is there starting from an individual person till the international level. Right? If you see what is happening with Indian borders, every day there is an attack from China, and the other side there is an attack from Pakistan. Why all these things are happening? Enviousness. India was there in the 10th location with respect to economy. But now we come up to 5th position. So there is an enviousness. So same way, even individual level also, the people, they keep envying each other. All the grihasthas, grihamedis in the household life. They'll be keep watching in the neighbor's home what kind of television they have bought, right? And what kind of jewelry they got. So they want little more bigger than that, always, right? So this kind of an enviousness, everywhere it is prevailing from individual person to international level. So that's what is been forecasted very nicely here in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2nd canto. If you see the first canto, how the whole thing started and all that. At the end of the first canto, Parikshit Maharaj is asking the questions, right? What are the duties of a dying man? What are his responsibilities? What he's supposed to hear? What he's supposed to read? And then, he's been appreciated about all these questions. So, wise and important questions that you are asking. Right? Even the first verse also it talks about the same thing. But unfortunately in the Kali Yuga, if you ask very good questions, you will be smashed. Right? That's what happens everywhere. You are not freed even to ask some good questions. So later on the other side now, Shukadeva Goswami is scolding the general public. That is, Dranam Santi Sahasrasaha. Dranam means general public. Santi Sahasrasaha means they have thousands and thousands of topics. Of what? Shrotavyadini Rajendra Apashyatam Atma Tattvam. For all these people who are deprived of knowledge of the self, these people, they have thousands and thousands of topics which are related to materialism, and these people are all materially engrossed, right? So this is what the Bhagavatam says. People are completely materially engrossed. They never come across the real spiritual knowledge. Though they come across, they don't want to, right? That's what, Prabhupada is also telling in the Bhagavatam, in this purport, that, Bhagavad Gita says about the real miseries, that is birth, death, old age and the disease. But people, they don't want to discuss about all these things. They want to hide all these things in the name of so-called advanced knowledge. That's why Prabhupada always brings the topics of US newspapers, right? There used to be very big bundles. The news used to be published. Not only in US, even in India also, there are big newspapers used to be published, as I was telling in the beginning, right? But these newspapers are all filled with what? All the material topics which are of no use at all. Of course, now with the increased technology, all these newspapers have been reduced, and the whole technology is diverted towards the social media, like internet or the Facebook or the WhatsApp and Instagram, whatever, right? If you get into these things, it's like an ocean. It's never ending, right? Most of you might be on the Facebook or Instagram, right? The moment you open it, you will be keep scrolling it down, keep scrolling. Have you ever touched the end of the Instagram or the Facebook or something, the last line? No, right? You will get fed up and you will keep it aside. Arey Baba, this is enough. So much news is available about this material world, but nowhere you will see the news about the spiritual world. Just searching on the internet, who are the people most using this internet facilities, right? So the very, very famous social media platform is which one? The topmost used social media platform, WhatsApp, as usual, right? And they have graded top 10 countries, right? So in that, I will not read out all of them. Russia is in 5th location. Then comes United States. Then comes Indonesia. Then comes Brazil with 118 million people subscribed on it. And you know who is in the first place? It's none other than ourselves. We are very proud about our own India with 487.5 million subscribers to WhatsApp. We are number 1. Right? And same thing you take with Facebook. Mexico is in the 5th position. Brazil is 4th. Indonesia is 3rd. 2nd is in United States. And 1st is India. 329 million subscribers. We're so much engaged and engrossed in these social media platforms and doing what? Searching for some useless things which are temporary in nature. Which are temporary in nature. So that's why, even one more very big thing is the television media. Those days, as I was talking the nostalgic moments, the life used to be very, very peaceful. There was no television, right? We used to have only some, radio transistors. And the radio also, that, the stations used to broadcast only few hours, maybe some 5-6 hours or 8 hours maximum. They used to start early in the morning, about 6 o'clock or something. They used to play beautiful Suprabhatam and then Padi Panta, something like that. And the news used to come only at 7 o'clock. And we used to hear what is happening and all that for just 10 minutes and close the radio. But now today if you look at, there are dedicated news channels which are 24/7. Right? I remember the first one was TV9. And later there was TV6 or something like that. Then there's TV5, there's TV4. I think all the numerical numbers they will cover up over a period of time. And they all broadcast 24/7 news. And which are again all temporary and which are useless news. Then none of them they talk about the spirituality. What the human life is meant for. What we are supposed to do. They never talk about it. And you look at the spiritual channels like Bhakti TV or whatever. How many are there existing? You can count them on the fingers. 1 or 2. And they will not be able to telecast 24/7 like these news people channels. Such an unfortunate situation. Right? So, actually once what happened, Prabhupada was having one conversation with some, Indian people in Bombay some time back. So one person, he asked, Prabhupada, why only Westerner people are becoming your disciples more and more? Why Indians are taking up your movement so seriously? Then Prabhupada said, actually Westerners are more detached from their family life. But Indians are more attached to their families. My son, my wife, my husband, my friends, my relatives, they're more attached. So to make them to understand about the detachment, it is very difficult. So that's the reason, it's very difficult to bring the Indian devotees to become disciples. So that's how if you see, everywhere we try to get attached with many, many things. Many people, many times, we say, live telecast later and we can try to mute some of the sensitive things, right? So we all tell Gandhiji as the father of the nation and he is known for the renunciation and all that, right? But actually, apparently, though he looked like, renounced and all that, but he extended his family to his whole country, whole society, the politics. He was attached to so much all these things, right? So that's why even this kind of a mindset, which is called as grihamedhi, which is attached for the material things. So in the contrary to grihamedhi is grihastha. So what is grihastha? It is called as grihastha ashrama, right? But we never call it as grihamedhi ashrama, right? So grihastha ashrama means, ashram is a location or a place where the spirituality is cultivated. So a person who gets married, he should actually imbibe the Krishna consciousness and make his home as an ashram, not grihamedhi. He should not spoil the whole environment and becoming envious of others and all these things. So this whole grihamedhi's life is actually centered around sex life. As long as there is an attraction between the men and women, the life will go on very nicely. Like Prahlad Maharaj says, Yanmaithanadi grihamedhi sukam hitucham kandu yanena karayor ivadukha dukkam. The translation, sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve an itch. Grihamedhi, so-called grihasthas, who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. It is a small itch which will be developed, over a period of time. Just, we can neglect for some time and you can easily come out of it, immediately. But we try to meditate on that. We try to contemplate on that. Then we try to get into the deeper aspects of it, which is very, very dangerous. So once what happens, there is a pastime of Srila Prabhupada, about one devotee by name Yagneshwara Dasa, who wanted to join ashram. So just joined, like even many other the folks who are sitting here, they will be observing when also we will also try to join the ashram. We can sit on the other side and, hear about Bhagavatam and all that. So same way, there was one young boy, Yagneshwara Dasa, and he was apparently from a very rich and wealthy background. So he joined the ashram over a period of time. But as usual, the parents will not leave the hope, right? They will be keep on attempting again and again. How do I bring back my beloved son back to home, right? So the father, as he is a rich man, many times he came personally to take his son back to home. Many times his mother came, relatives, many people they came to take him back, but they weren't successful. Then one fine day, this rich man sends his secretary, Hare, I fed up of telling this boy again and again. I have lost my patience. Why can't you go and try to convince him to come back? It doesn't look good. Everybody is asking me where your son has gone. I'm unable to answer them. Please bring him back. So then this secretary comes to the temple and he starts conversing with this boy. And finally, he will also not be successful to take this boy back. And next day, Prabhupada goes for a morning walk conversation. So as usual, like what happened on the previous day comes for the discussion in the morning walk conversation. So then Prabhupada asked, Rameshwar, I saw some of your relatives or somebody came to take you back. What did they tell you? So Rameshwar says, Prabhupada, he said, the most important aspect of the life is to enjoy. And the topmost enjoyment platform is sex life. And your movement is preaching not to indulge in sex life. So who will take up your movement? Nobody will take up your movement. Your movement will become miserable failure. Nobody will accept your instructions. So don't try to be here, just come back home. This is what he was trying to tell me and convince me and all that. Then Prabhupada asked, what did you say? Then Yagneshwara Dasa, he said, Prabhupada, I said that I was also like any other ordinary human being when I was outside. But when I heard these instructions from the disciples of Prabhupada, I accepted it, right? And also my friends accepted it. Many of my known people accepted it. So then, why people, what is the reason that people will not accept these instructions? The intelligent people will definitely accept it. So you don't need to worry about it. So that's how I told him and I sent him back. So Prabhupada was very happy about it. And he said, this is how the disciples should become more and more strong in understanding the Krishna consciousness philosophy and spread this beautiful message of, message of Hare Krishna, the Hare Krishna movement everywhere. So, basically, how it is happening over a period of time, as I was telling, the center point of attraction in the Grihasthas or Grihamedi's life is the sex life. So as long as there is an attraction, men and women, the life will go on in a better way. But the moment you see there is a little, misunderstanding, then they will go for divorce in this modern age, right? The so-called big people, if you look at the Microsoft founder, who is that? Bill Gates. Even he got divorced recently, few years back. And you take Bollywood, heroes like Amir Khan, right? He got divorced a few years back. And you take even Hollywood heroes. I don't want to name them as very close. There also, many people they get divorced. And not only talk about big people, and everywhere we see earlier and all, people are getting divorced. It means people used to whisper, they are getting divorced and all. But now today, it's a very common news. Everybody, anywhere there's little misunderstanding, they get divorced. Very, very bad situation. So now the next generation, what is happening? They don't want to get married. They want to just live together. Right? And when you ask them, why are you not getting married? We are trying to understand each other little more. And you ask a person who married even after 50 years, have you understood your wife? He says, no, I can't. Actually, it's very easy to understand even Krishna and Krishna's pastime, but not. Right? So that is the Grihamedi's life. So if you look at even Raghunath Das Goswami's life in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, at that time he is the son of the one of the most wealthiest person, like today's like Ambani or whomever you call like Tatas and all that. So at that time he was such a wealthiest man's son is Raghunath Das Goswami. So he was running away from the home again and again to join the movement of Lord Chaitanya. So by looking at so many attempts, Lord Chaitanya says, don't worry, don't try to escape so many times, right? Try to be at the home only and try to practice Grihastha. And when time comes, I will let you know that you can come and join my movement. So when the time comes up, when the Raghunath Das Goswami comes and joins the movement, then Raghunath Das Goswami asks personally, right? My dear Lord, what is the instruction for me to go ahead? Then Lord Chaitanya says, Gramya katha na sunibe, Gramya varta na kahibe, Bhala na kaibe yara, Bhala na paribe. Which means that do not talk like people in general or hear what they say. You should not eat very palatable food, nor should you dress very nicely. So here there are two things. One is Gramya Katha and Krishna Katha. Right? So we should never talk about Gramya Katha. Actually this talking, the tendency is very high in many people, especially in the Kali Yuga. They want to keep on talking. I seen recently, there's one small boy about 6-7 years. He is taking one phone and he's shooting the whole temple. And he is coming and talking to some of our preachers here and all that. And he was asking him, what are you going to do with this video? I have my own YouTube channel. A small kid, about 6-7 years. He has his own YouTube channel. What is he going to do? He simply talk something or the other. See, talking tendency. It is good if you talk about some spiritual, that is Krishna Katha. But many people, they talk only Gramya Katha. So that's why here Lord Chaitanya is particularly instructing that don't get into this material topics discussion. You have to discuss only Krishna Katha. Right? Otherwise, this tendency of enviousness will increase a lot. It's very difficult to control. So one fine day, this is a small pastime of Prabhupada, which happened in Ahmedabad. So I'll just read out the memory. Giriraj Swamy, he is recollecting. So one day in Surat, when Srila Prabhupada was taking his massage, I asked, how can we deal with envy? I knew that I was envious, and I knew that envy was bad before I asked the question. I had been considering the subject, and I had come to the conclusion that there was no use of being envious, because Krishna is unlimited, and Krishna's service is unlimited, and Krishna's mercy is unlimited. If someone has some special service to Krishna, or is getting some special mercy from Krishna, it doesn't really prejudice my chances, because there is unlimited service and unlimited mercy, but at the time, being envious was hurting my Krishna consciousness. So I asked Srila Prabhupada, what to do my envy? Srila Prabhupada replied by asking me, can you think of any reason why you shouldn't be envious? I had already thought of many reasons, so I said, yes. Then Srila Prabhupada said, to be envious of someone means that you don't like that person. That not liking should be directed against the demons that are causing so much trouble to the devotees and so much havoc in the world. That not liking should not be directed towards the devotees. You see, this is how we should try to control our enviousness. Many times what happens because of our services, we also tend to become envious sometime. Right? Even for small things we try to become enviousness. Sometimes we see that our junior devotees get very good services, but we will be put into some other normal services. So we try to become envious sometime. And we start disliking these devotees once in a while. But that should not happen. That's what Prabhupada is telling here. At the spiritual realm, at the platform, the service is unlimited. Right? So many services we can create and we can give. We no need to worry why he is doing so much service. Actually, we should take it in a very, very positive attitude. Oh, he is doing so much service, I will do more service than him. Like book distribution, we keep announcing the points, right? Folk, did this much, and the gifts did this much, and this boy did this much. So we have to take a healthy competition and do more and more service. Right? Like let's say somebody is coming to Mangalarti at 4:15. We should not become envious. Why this boy is coming at so early? I am unable to come. So you come at 4:10. Who told not to come? Right? If somebody is coming at 4:10, you come at 4:05. You come at 4 o'clock. You come at 3:30. Who told not to come? That is the gopis' mood. Right? Gopis used to think, oh, this gopi is giving so much pleasure to Krishna. So let me give more pleasure to Krishna. Let me give more varieties of garlands to Krishna. Let me cook more varieties of dishes to Krishna. This is how we should have a healthy competition. Even in those days, Prabhupada used to create this kind of a healthy competition among different temples, which are coming out beautifully in different parts of the world. So, if we, just before I conclude, if we start envying the devotees, what will happen? Let me tell you a very, very important point. If you start envying the devotees, you are choking the freedom of even the Lord Krishna himself. Why the devotees are getting the different services? There are two reasons. Because it may be the blessings of Krishna and Guru, or because the causeless mercy of the Krishna and Guru. So it is their free will to bestow any kind of service to anyone. Right? So when you envy about these services, you are restricting even Lord Krishna himself. Right? So which means that we are becoming envious of Krishna. But we are supposed to love Krishna. What is the love? Love means freedom, freeness. By restricting, can we love someone? No. That will become enviousness. So if you want to love Krishna, you should not envy any of the devotees. So we should take this thing as a very healthy competition. This happens because we start comparing each other. This is a very big disease over a period of time the devotees will develop. We should never compare. Don't compare. Every devotee is unique in the spiritual dimension or even with respect to even material dimension as well. You no need to compare. Everybody is unique. You will get your own service and you will lead your own life. Why should you compare with others? You should never compare. The moment you start comparing, the enviousness, the jealousiness, everything will compare, and again we will fall down to the material platform. And we will never achieve our, the ultimate goal of going back to Godhead. With a kind of enviousness and jealousiness, where is the way forward to get into the spiritual realm? It's impossible. It's impossible because all these qualities will not exist in those platforms. Right? So, this is what in this verse it is said, the griha medhinam, right? Medhi means enviousness. So many times we also being brahmacharis, right? We become medhi, griha medhi. Don't think that only married people will be griha medhis. Even being brahmacharis also we can become griha medhis, right? So we should never ever get into this direction. So let us be a better devotee and try to serve with a healthy attitude, with healthy competition. More and more service we should be able to render to the moment of Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya and Krishna himself. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700.